The cure for premature ejaculation. Are you suffering from PE? Have you already tried different techniques? You've done all the breathing exercises and trying to train your penis on your own, and it seems to work on your own, but when you are actually with a woman, your PE comes back. They don't seem to work. This is because most people believe that solving your premature ejaculation is about training your penis to last longer. You are trying to treat the symptom, not the actual cause. This problem is not represented to you correctly. The actual cause remains, and if you don't treat it, then you are not going to resolve the symptom. So listen up. This is how men can resolve their premature ejaculation for good. I'm going to outline to you the full solution, but you will not get it if you do not fully understand the problem. Understanding the problem is half of the solution. So let me spend time on this properly first, okay? So to illustrate to you the premature ejaculation, I want to tell you about a very interesting case that I worked with. So I had this couple come into my consultancy to work with me. For those who don't know, yes, for the last few years, I've been offering online courses to teach people about more fulfilling sex lives. But for over 20 years, I've had an in-person consultancy working with people as a sex coach, sex teacher, sex therapist, which I'm still continuing. So this couple comes in for a practical workshop. He suffers from extreme premature ejaculation. So I sit down then first of all to audit their sex life, and the dynamic becomes apparent very quickly. He's very anxious about pleasing her, about satisfying her in sex. He doesn't feel he has the ability or the understanding how to deliver that to her, and she's very critical. He's not doing things right. She's not really helping him, guiding him how to understand her, how to do things better for her. So I start working with them, and there's normally a whole bunch of activities that I get couples to do. The first one, I'm teaching him how to touch her body, just over her body, sexual touch, nothing genital. And I can see straight away, I'm going to be here for a couple of hours. He's so tense, so anxious, everything is so rigid, nothing is flowing, because he's so concerned how to make her feel good. And she's in the critical mindset, telling him, you're not doing this right, this doesn't feel good, stop doing that. So I had to work with him and with her for a long time. By the end of this activity, I got them to a place. He relaxed into his feeling, into really enjoying her body, but with the confidence that he was doing it right for her. And I finally got her to be a lot more positive and supportive. And she was expressing how amazing that all felt for her, genuinely. How much he was loving it, and he was seeing it, and it was like making him feel alive. So a very beautiful moment, but unfortunately we're out of time. So all the other things that I wanted to tell them about sex in that workshop, we didn't have time for. But here's the interesting thing. They went away and they wrote to me an email a week later that they've been having the most amazing sex of their life the whole week. His premature ejaculation completely evaporated. I didn't tell him anything about penetration. I didn't tell him anything about training his dick. I only had time to teach him how to touch her body with hands. His premature ejaculation was totally gone. They came back later for another workshop to cover the things they didn't cover the first time. So then they went away. They're really happy now in their sex life. Can you see what happened here? Have a think. He relaxed about pleasing her and satisfying her by seeing that she's happy with what he was doing just with one hand. He became confident that his woman is happy from his love-making skills. Now, I don't want you to misunderstand this is some weird isolated case. I see this pattern play out with so many people that I worked with, how they resolved their premature ejaculation. So, what is the problem? The problem is that everybody is telling you that to solve your premature ejaculation, you need to train your dick. And to be fair, managing your dick and managing your sexual energy is an important component. Basic skills that every man needs to have, and I will talk about them later in this video, but it only solves the problem partially to resolve your premature ejaculation. And it might not solve it at all, because the premature ejaculation doesn't live in your dick, and it's not resolved in your dick. The real cause of premature ejaculation is tension. Tension in your sexual system. It is not physical tension, nothing about physically relaxing. It is psychological tension. It's not in your dick, it is systemic. Your whole sexual system is like a tightly wound coil, and your dick is the weak link that is ready to jump. Now, how do men accumulate all that tension in their sexual system? Some of the causes can be, general life. Maybe you're really highly stressed. Maybe you're having conflicts with a partner. For most men, you are tense about sex. You are tense about your performance. You are anxious about pleasing your partner and satisfying her for one reason or another. You think you're anxious because I'm going to come soon. No, the premature ejaculation is the result of your anxiety and tension in the first place. What you're really anxious about under all that is, will I satisfy her? Will I make her really fulfilled in sex? Will I give her all the orgasms? Will I be a good lover for her? And you mistakenly believe that lasting longer is going to resolve all that. but it will not. And I will talk about that later. So that's why you could be working on training your dick, and at home, when you're all relaxed, it all works very well because there is nobody to perform for. But when you're with a woman, you are tense about pleasing her and satisfying her, and your premature ejaculation comes back. Think about this. Many men on my courses and in my consultancy tell me this story. Things used to be great. Now my wife doesn't want sex often. She's not enjoying sex, and I come a lot sooner now than I used to. How did this happen? Not because your dick suddenly became more sensitive than before, or more untrained, or you're using a different technique from before. Tension in you has built up from feeling that you are not making your wife happy in sex, and she doesn't want sex because of it. And it will not get resolved by lasting longer because you lasted longer before, and she still became disengaged from sex. That wasn't doing it for her. Or another very common case, many men have conflicts in their relationship, not in sex, just in their relationship. And have you noticed that it makes you come sooner in sex? Again, sex is still the same as before, but the emotional tension is creating that sexual tension in you. Another interesting thing, why do so many young men suffer from premature ejaculation? Obviously, we can't generalize that, it's a young men problem. There is a bit of everything in every age group. But on the whole, older men have learned to enjoy sex more for the experience of it. And they have more life experience to know a bit more about what women really want and need in sex. Young men don't have that life experience. They're bombarded all the time by messages online, how to perform well. They don't have a lot of real life reference in their experience to see that it's bullshit. So they're a lot more tense about their performance, and that's why, it's more common in young men. So what's the solution? Okay, training yourself to last longer. They are essential skills for a man. They're just 10% of your toolbox as a lover, but they're an important part of your toolbox. So this involves, first of all, a couple of things. Slower arousal for yourself, so you have more time to relax in your system. Changing your penetration techniques, the kind of movement, the progressiveness, the sequencing, and not just hammering, which would make it more amazing for a woman, but actually less overstimulating for you. So these two are actually totally aligned with what a woman wants. You last longer, but you give her better sex at the same time. It's a win-win. And then your own internal skills on managing your sexual energy, they're important. So that's training yourself to recognize your levels and to slow down. So you experiment with, edging, cruising, plateauing, breathing to help you. And most importantly, channeling your sexual energy away from the genitals. All this normally goes with, mindset techniques, which are often a very overlooked but very powerful component. Now, there are many places where you can learn all these techniques, both paid and free. I teach my own set of tools that I feel are the best ones to use for this, but these tools from many other places might work for you just as well. So those things are important. They're an essential 10% of any man's toolbox as a lover, but it will not necessarily resolve your premature ejaculation at the root cause. Why? So look, the problem is, for example, in my case, I do have a module in my course for men dedicated to lasting longer with all the best tools for that, with explaining different non-ejaculation orgasmic experiences for men. And it's typical for men when they enter my course to have this mindset. When we get to the module on lasting longer, that's where the real money is. That's what I paid for. The rest is like, take it or leave it. And I always have to drive this very strongly. If this is how you're going to study about being a great lover for women and to resolve your premature ejaculation, you have already failed. You will not resolve your premature ejaculation, and on top of it, even if you last longer, you will give zero improvement in sex to your woman. And I always explain to people that it's all the other stuff that is going to be more impactful for your premature ejaculation, about every part of sex, how to really understand a woman's sexuality, how to really understand her deep needs in every part of sex, how to really make her happy in sex. All the stuff not related to your dick is going to have much more influence on your premature ejaculation. Why? Now we come to the real solution for premature ejaculation. If the real cause of premature ejaculation is systemic tension in your sexual system, which comes from your anxiety, your nervousness about your performance, how you're going to satisfy a woman, then the real solution to premature ejaculation is to discharge and relax that systemic tension that you have in your system about it, like happened to that man in my example, and to many, many other men that I worked with and that I taught through my courses. Now, you can't relax that tension in your system by just relaxing. Nobody can just relax. The relaxation really is a product of your confidence that you are a good lover. And not the bullshit kind of confidence, the typical drivel that you hear for men. You will be confident if you last for hours, you have a massive hard-on, you have the stamina. None of this makes most women fulfilled in sex. And even if you last longer, she continues being unfulfilled in sex. And you see that even with lasting longer, it is not resolved. And that causes more premature ejaculation for you. And you are trapped in that vicious cycle. No, the right kind of confidence. Just the knowledge that you are making a woman happy, you are giving her what she really needs. It means that you really understand a woman's sexuality, what really makes her fulfilled. It means you possess the skill, the ability to really engage her sexually, to fulfill her real needs and her real wishes in sex, to give her a really powerful, enriching, loving experience of sex that she craves. Most of it is not about how long you last inside the vagina. Then you will see her happy, you will see her flourish, and then you will have that calm, relaxed confidence in yourself that you're making her happy in the way that matters to her, because that's what you're really anxious about, isn't it? And that will relax you. You will not have that anxiety anymore. Am I making her happy? Am I satisfying her? Then your system will relax and your dick will lose that tension. I'm just saying that to resolve your premature ejaculation, you can't just be training your dick. You have to feel that you're a good lover. So this means, really understanding her sexuality, her body, her arousal, her different sexual energies, the kind of energy she needs from you in sex, the kind of feeling and connection she needs to feel from you, how to make her feel great here, 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 in this part of sex, in that part of sex, in different kinds of sex that she will need. And in penetration, of course, as well. Understanding how her different orgasms actually work. None of them work by you just thrusting longer inside the vagina. So none of that is about lasting longer. You will not achieve any of that by lasting longer. And women have been telling this to men forever, that you lasting longer is not the solution to all her sexual problems and her sexual needs and wishes in sex. Men just don't listen. They just need to last longer. Watch this video, one of my older videos about why lasting longer is not going to make a woman fulfilled in sex. And another video here, what are the actual skills of a good lover that women really crave, what women actually need from men in sex. Now you may think, all very good, I can learn to be a good lover in all the other ways, but it's still not fun if I come too soon, if I have premature ejaculation in that part of sex, right? No, of course, like I said, the basics of managing your sexual energy are also important skills for a man, just not the full solution. But making love to a woman as a good lover in the way that a woman needs you to make love to her, and not just hammering to last longer, it makes you have sex in ways that is a lot more relaxed for your system and a lot less overstimulating for you, so you don't come so soon. And then when you see her happy and fulfilled, that released tension in your system will often stop your premature ejaculation. You will not come so soon. And look, I'm not saying that, only I can teach you how to make love to a woman properly. If you feel I can, that's great. But if you resonate with somebody else's vision of how to make love to a woman, then go with that. I'm just saying that to resolve your premature ejaculation, you can't just be training your dick. You have to feel that you're a good lover. You have to make her really fulfilled in sex, and that will give you that confidence and that relaxation. And most of it is not about lasting longer in the vagina. So you've got to learn the appropriate skills for that wherever you want to learn them. So if anybody then complains that within the 10-minute YouTube video, I didn't explain how to do everything for a woman in sex and how to make her really happy in sex, come on. It's not in the scope of a 10-minute video. And that kind of thinking is the problem and the reason for failure. Lots of people are making you feel like there is a quick tip somewhere. Did that tip solve it for you so far? Sex is a relationship. There are many parts to it. It's a very important connection with your lover, to really understand your lover. I understand that this is not a quick tip. It is learning properly about female sexuality and women's real needs, because only that way you can make you really fulfilled. If it really affects you, if you really suffer from it, then it's quite big for you, right? Then give it more attention, time, and commitment to really understand the woman properly, to learn more than just a tip. With a bit of proper respectful commitment to an issue, everything is possible. And it really doesn't take that much. Most people can potentially turn their sex life around in just a few months.